view, like kind of right in line from where Luke's shot was, just as you're kind of the emotions of it all, seeing the ball go up in the air and how the ball got into his hands based on what you were looking at to draw up out of the timeout?
Yeah. So down 2 and we get LeBron open. We actually just challenged this call in our last game, and the ball got initially hit, but then if LeBron still has possession of the ball and then gets fouled across the arm, that's considered a foul because we challenged that. We lost that challenge. So again, another night where explanations just get changed based on a whim. We had to overcome a lot tonight, and by that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Greg St. Jean drew up the baseline out of bounds play. We were looking at LeBron as sort of the first option on that slip. Maybe Luka coming off the double if they messed up on a red. Braun did a great job drawing 2. And I just, for Smart, he makes the first baseline or side out of bounds play, makes the right pass, perfect on the money to LeBron, and then on the baseline to have to go through your check downs, and then he recognizes that Luke was wide open as soon as he caught it and released. We knew it was in. We all had that perfect angle. It was whatever the highest grade on Noah is. It would have been that.
We had that conversation a couple weeks ago about how many shots Luke makes in an empty gym, right? Like, and there's probably nobody in the world, right, who's going to knock down more than those. Even he said 1 or 2 more than you. How do you feel for him getting that moment now after all the moments on this road trip from other guys?
I'm really happy for him. I really am. Him and I had a great conversation this morning. He wants it so bad. He wants to help this team, and I think it's hard getting traded midseason. I've talked about it so many times, and sometimes you get in an early rhythm, and then sometimes you get out of that rhythm. And he, all night was just really, really good for us, and deserved that opportunity and all the work. That's a money shot for him.
JJ, without addressing the specifics of what you're talking about in terms of overcoming a lot, generally speaking, your team at times this year has been pretty affected by officiating. Just how
I didn't say officiating.
Your team has been affected by exterior things they cannot control in games,
external situations.
Yeah, sure. Just in terms of growth and poise, how good of a test was this for your team tonight, and just how did you see them come through?
Yeah, I thought we've had a number of things happen in the last couple of weeks. We've had a number of things happen on this road trip that has shown growth for our group. We did a good job of just playing through stuff, whether it was some cold shooting, some hot shooting from them for a little stretch there, getting down, playing on the road. Again, the external circumstances of whatever tonight was, and not allowing that to get us off our game. Truly, we just kept playing. We talked about it at halftime. We talked about it in huddles. One of the weirdest games I've been a part of in that regard.
Jay, did you guys get any explanation from the officials on the technical for Luka?
No, but we'll obviously try to get that rescinded. I'm not sure what happened. I do know that there were certain things said in a language that the referees couldn't understand in references to Luka's mom, and I think they just. Austin gets targeted 3 times by Carter. They didn't have a real good control of that basketball game.
And the win streak's now at 9, and you guys done it in a variety of ways, but have the same end result. What's this felt like to ride this wave at this stage of the season?
Man, that's a good question. Every stage of the season is exhausting for different reasons. This week has obviously been a lot in terms of the intensity, the preparation, the travel. We've got 2 more games on this trip. We get to go home for a little bit. We've got our first 2-day break in between games, not counting All-Star break since December 27th. An opportunity to to practice, which is exciting. It's all felt. I think, rewarding to see the growth for the group. But it's on to the next thing. There's a lot we can get better at from tonight. There's a lot we can get better at from Miami. I do think growth-wise, I thought our defense in the second half was on par with where we needed to be. But yeah, it's all kind of blends together, and you got to enjoy the good moments.
You know, it's really good when you don't have to talk about the situation going on with Luka Doncic right now regarding picking up his 16th technical foul in this game, which according to league policy means he will be suspended for the next game played, which would be versus Detroit on Monday. However, JJ just mentioned they'll try and figure out to see if they can get that rescinded. If not, nonetheless, obviously that's a situation that's on their hands right now if he does miss. But you did mention, 12 million points in the last 48 hours for Luka. He is at 133 over the last 72. So despite he had himself a performance, obviously got going early, but you got to factor in the situation and the facts that are at hand right now.
Yes, and the reacting is always going to get you in trouble, right? There's a way to respond to what something that is said or something that is done that may be disrespectful to you or your family, etc. And if you're aware of the circumstances, you have a choice to make. Mm-hmm. He made the choice to react in the moment. They can win the game without him, to be honest. If he doesn't play on Monday night, that's just the reality of it because of the situation that they're in. The Pistons won't have Cade Cunningham. The Lakers have enough on their roster to still get it done. And then you just move on to the next game, and you don't overthink it. They'll go through their process of trying to see if they can get it rescinded, but it is what it is at this point.
I want to see him get it rescinded, not just the fact that Luka's on the roll, but I'm thinking more for him and the role he is as far as MVP. This is one of the key games, especially going up against Detroit, who's the top team in the East. And that performance against them is going to make, the voters look up and say, oh, even though there's no Cade Cunningham, but I'm still, sometimes they don't watch. They just look at Detroit beat by Lakers and, oh, Luka had 60 points. And for me, that's the one thing that I hope it gets rescinded and Luka understands that it hits home for him. Like, I can't put myself in that position. You can say whatever you want about my family, my daughter, my whatever it is, you got to understand, those are just words. Words aren't going to bother you, but getting that L on him is going to bother him more than those words. And so I think that's what this situation can put Luka in the mindset like, oh, I got to be more presence of mind not to get out of my character and be better.
Yeah, because two things. One, once I know that about you, there's going to be somebody in the playoffs that'll do the same thing to get you to react, if that's what it takes to get you a technical or your fifth foul or whatever, sixth foul, whatever the situation may be. Secondly, when the NBA does go through the process of determining whether to rescind it or not, they're going to talk to the big guy, Bataze, and get a statement from him, ask him what he said, make sure that everything is known, the facts. And depending on what he said, if he tells the truth, or they may ask other players that were within earshot of the conversation, they're going to talk to the referees about what they may have heard. It's possible it is rescinded if they feel like what was said was derogatory enough or negative enough that a player should have a little bit of leeway to say something back.
But I always laugh because I've watched certain players, I ain't gonna call them name, Draymond Green, that says things to the refs and they let it slide. But when you say things to another player and there's no pushing or shoving, you want to call it double take on the players. Stop taking money out of the players' pockets by calling that. And when you let another guy just talk to you like directly to you, crazy. That doesn't register in my mind sometimes, Allie. I know I ain't the smartest guy, but that right there
was one time
don't make sense.
that it was given, and it costed him a pretty big playoff game from the Ohio girl herself. Nonetheless, something we'll keep an eye on, as Luka did pick up, as it stands right now, his 16th technical foul of the regular season. Let's get you to Orlando. Check out the highlight of this one. It was a fun one. In case you missed it, Luka Doncic, Lakers look to keep the winning streak rolling versus the Magic.